good morning, Kelly and Stephanie. It's nice to have you here. As you know, I'm Patrick Kerrigan, and I represent CAB here in the area. What we're doing is interviewing different organizations, small businesses, and finding out a little bit about them and why they pick Cornish, how they do business, what their business is like. So I've got a few questions I'd like to ask you, and we'll go from there. Sound good?
Sounds great.
You have a tea shop, and that's kind of a broad term. How did you get started in the business, and how long have you been in the business here in Cornish?
All right, do you want me to answer that? So the business started out of my home 2.5 years ago. So we're a holistic wellness center and a tea shop and apothecary. So we're kind of a multi-dimensional space.
Good.
So we started as a sole practitioner. I was an energy worker, holistic wellness and life coach, certified health education specialist, as well as I was apprenticing with an herbalist. So my approach is really integrative. So eventually I knew I wanted to open my business on a broader scale to affect more people in their health and their journey. But I was flustered on how I could do that by myself, so it was a bit stagnated until Kelly and I started talking. Kelly comes from a business ownership background, a small business specifically, and so we kind of just came together 1.5 years ago now, and we decided that we were going to venture together on this path where we could integrate holistic healing on a broader scale and give people multiple modalities to choose from, but as well as create an environment that reintegrates the connection between ourselves and with people. So
interesting.
The tea shop was the big part of the piece where we wanted people to have a space to come in and just relax and maybe connect in with a book they're reading or connect in with their neighbor or friend, just kind of reestablish the human connection. So that was a big component of the tea shop.
Mm-hmm. As I said, I'll be here this winter with my book. Kelly, how long have you been open here in Cornish?
We've been here since June, but the tea shop and apothecary opened in December. The wellness business opened in October of last year.
Okay. How did you decide on Cornish?
It's always an interesting story. So we knew that we didn't want to be in Massachusetts anymore. Too much hustle and bustle. It was a bit too busy to establish a business there, and we just wanted to be immersed in nature a bit more. So we literally got in the car and started driving and went towards Maine and this area specifically because geographically it's between North Conway and the White Mountains and Portland and the ocean. And Stephanie loves snowboarding. I love the ocean. I love the beach, and it just worked out really well geographically. But throughout the day, we're driving around trying to zero in on a location, like a movie scene. It's pouring out. We're like, all right, maybe this isn't gonna work. Yeah. As soon as we got into Cornish in the afternoon, like the skies parted, the sun starts coming out, and we just got this super warm and fuzzy feeling, and we knew that we finally found where we wanted to be. We found home, so it was really nice.
It is beautiful after the rain and the sun does come out over the White Mountains. What are like one or two of the things that your customers know about your business that they may not know already?
The most important thing to know about our business is that we're here looking to connect with people in a deep, altruistic way. We're all about the community. We're about helping people on their path, meeting them where they're at, and offering as many services as possible to help anybody on their path, and whether that is just to have a space to kind of retreat to that's quiet and they can listen to the birds sing as they drink tea, or come here and talk to our acupuncturist or have a health coaching session.
That's a lot of stuff because you are just not a tea shop.
Right.
There's so much
Oftentimes,
more.
Yeah. I mean, from the outside looking in, folks probably think that we just, we're just slinging iced teas all day, but yes, that is a part of what we do, but it's not the whole picture.
Yeah.
So the whole picture is we're here to help people holistically and just offer natural services to folks such as yoga, acupuncture, Reiki, and a lot of individuals may not know what everything is, and that's why we're here to give those services to them and provide that.
Help educate them, but also provide retail goods as well. So for instance, someone might be coming in and they don't have time to see a Reiki practitioner, they don't have time to see a health coach or a shamanic healer, but they have time to get some lavender leaf or a lavender flower so that they can make teas at home that will help put them at ease, or valerian root, which would help give them better sleep, so things like that. So essential oils, tinctures, herbs, that'll all be things that we stock here, so people have not only it's not about just sharing healing, but also giving people the knowledge to heal themselves.
So we know a little bit about your business. What's one thing that your customers, and I'm trying to get a little bit behind the scenes, what's one thing they don't know about you guys?
Well, from a business perspective, probably start there.
Sure.
The amount of hours that go into owning a small business, and in our case, 2-3 businesses, that it is a lot of backdoor time, a lot of scheduling, emails. I think we have 5 avenues of communication. So I would say that's the business piece.
From the business piece,
Yeah.
I would say from a personal standpoint, I am 100% Portuguese, so a lot of folks don't know that about me. I stick out like a sore thumb in the summertime here, and it's great.
Do you speak Portuguese?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah, it's great.
That's really good. That'll come in handy here in the historic district.
I think personally for me too, other than being 100% mutt, I spent a lot of time with working with those needing injustice support. So indigenous people, animals, minority populations, as well as specifically the DARK Act, also known as the Right to Know Act, label laws for GMOs. Spent a lot of time in DC with that. And then you're an ocean girl, and I'm a very big adventurer, rock climber, snowboarder, skijoring.
Interesting.
Fun stuff, yeah.
So you talked about the 4 or 5 different ways you guys communicate with your customers. So technology plays a big part in your business.
Yep.
A major part of our business,
And even from the marketing standpoint, I mean, I have a bachelor's degree in business management, and I've taken several marketing courses. And I graduated almost 10 years ago from college, and the marketing classes, the marketing techniques are so much different than they are now, where now you rely heavily on social media, for instance, Instagram, Facebook, to get your word out there. And we found that there is a good balance here in Cornish where the community, they rely on paper. So the shopping guide, for instance, is a great marketing tool that we use. So we have shopping guide, Facebook, Instagram, our website. There's several avenues of communication and marketing. So.
And do you find that kind of drives traffic not only from Cornish but from other parts?
Absolutely.
Like next to that kind of dovetail into Cornish, like Standish or Gorham, and
Yeah. We a lot of the adjacent towns are aware of what we're doing as a result of our social media use and advertising.
That's great. You are a member of CAB, the Cornish Association of Businesses. What has CAB been able to do to help you guys come in, get adjusted, promote your business, provide advice, anything like that? Or is it something outside of that?
CAB has been really wonderful. First of all, it was a really welcoming group. It's very professionally run, and for us being very new to the community, it was nice to have another group of professionals to connect with.
Good.
Not just from a business standpoint, but also a personal standpoint, just to get together with like-minded folks. But all the festivals that they run are certainly really wonderful events and great way to connect in and help amplify what you're doing as a business. And then, of course, the advertising that CAB does is, again, just amplifies what we're doing. So it's another way to extend, connect in, but also have another extension of exposure.
Well, kind of keeping on that same train of thought, although your business is fairly new, what's one of the most satisfying moments you've had in your business?
It's almost daily. So it's when people come in and they literally thank us for being here. And honestly, I'm gonna get emotional. It is, for us, we are here, we are so humbled because we are here to serve. We're not here for any other reason but to help people and connect them with our community. So when people come in and they're just overwhelmed by having a space, they just feel so relaxed in as soon as they come in. And we tell them what services we're offering them, and they're looking at conventional systems that aren't working for them, like pharmaceuticals and maybe more quote unquote traditional systems, and they are coming here just in dire need of anything. And when they take Reiki or they talk to our clinical herbalists, and they get on skull cap or motherwort, and that helps with like cyclical thinking, and you just see this relief in their eyes, and they're just so grateful to just have a moment where they're not in pain, where they feel good, and their relationships improve, their work life improves, and they just feel good. Those are the moments that are affirmed to us that everything we've done, all the hardship we've gone through, that this is why we're here and what we're doing.
Well, we're glad to have you here. We're very glad. How do you define success? It sounds like you already have, but how would you define success going forward?
I would say success is much to what Stephanie was just discussing, seeing the smile on somebody's face when I'll be here sometimes and you just see them come down the stairs after, say, a session of Reiki or a session of acupuncture, and you see the relief and they walk up to you and just say, thank you. That to me is success. It's not about how much money you have in your pocket. It's about seeing somebody healing and seeing somebody happy. To me and Stephanie, every single time we see that, that's success to us.
Yeah.
With that in mind, what is probably the biggest challenges, one or two, that you've had to overcome opening your business?
I came from a business background. My parents owned a business since I was 2 months old.
And it was a restaurant business, wasn't it?
Restaurant and pub. And eventually I took over as owner, but when I took over, it was already an established business. There was already clientele coming in. And I wasn't too familiar with the behind the scenes of how to establish a business from the ground up.
Right.
So coming into it, I'm thinking, okay, I have business knowledge. This shouldn't be too bad. But when you start it from the ground up, there are headaches. And we're both very smart women and we know what we're doing. But even then, if you don't have a plan, if you don't know exactly what you want to do, homework comes into play. You really need to have that plan ready in order to establish a business. And even so, once you get over one hurdle, there's another hurdle and another hurdle, and you really have to be tenacious and very centered to be able to continue to hop over those hurdles.
And connecting to the vision.
Yeah.
Like some people, when we bought this place, it was crippled and tilted, and it was a garage. Like people are like, how did you see a tea shop here?
Yeah.
We're like,
I
we
wonder
just-
that too.
Yeah, we just-
and I know some people have that vision, and I
Yeah.
walk in and I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you have that vision? That's really a gift.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we're in a society where it's statistic heavy, and of course you can sway statistics one way or the next, but really our greatest intellect is here. So when we knew, we felt it in our heart. We just knew, and things would just go once that happened, and doors just opened. So our vision really came to fruition because we just stayed connected to ourselves and our vision. And the rest is just white noise.
Well, I used to be an instructor in the business school at USM, and I'd always had 2 or 3 kids in the class that were either starting their own business or had a small business on the side. What advice would you give somebody that's 22, 23, 24, 25 about being an entrepreneur, starting their own business? If you could give them just one piece of advice each, what would it be?
I'd say make sure your plan matches what you pursue. Have a thorough plan ready for them. Would you say it differently?
No, I'd say the same. It's not, it can sound so romantic to say we left Massachusetts and we opened a tea shop and a holistic center, and we have over 25 healers in house, and yoga is a primary class here. We have all these wonderful healers, and that sounds amazing. But in the end, we spent thousands upon thousands of hours planning, talking to banks, talking to mentors, talking to other business owners, connecting in and making sure all our credentials were in order, and learning the ropes of the town we were relocating to. So it's not just, all right, set up and unfolds, and maybe some people can do that, but I think it's really advantageous to really know your plan so well that you don't even have to think about it, and stay persistent, and to stay and be resilient. And I think one of the most important things is to remember, even though you're on this huge endeavor, you need to remember to take time for yourself. That was a big part. We'd walk away from a 100-hour week, we're like, we need to take like 3 days off, and even though that would hinder our progress, it actually progressed our progress
In the long run, it really helped. So working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is probably not a good idea.
No.
And oftentimes, folks, if you ever seen that poster where it says success and then it's an iceberg.
Yes.
Success is
Yes.
everything
Yeah.
underneath it.
I have seen
All
that
that.
recently.
That's us. Yeah, that's us. But
Oftentimes,
if
people only see the tip of the iceberg. So
but if those people do get too caught up in it, they can come here, and we have over 25 healers that they can see, yoga classes, meditation.
Where's your favorite place to vacation?
I would personally say Portugal, the homeland. They have beaches. The food is incredible. I'm all about ocean, beach, and food, and that's all.
I'll definitely have to just say Iceland, and not because it's a popular place to visit, but because it's pure, and you can really experience the land for what the land is. And to me, that's an experience that has no description. It's just a feeling. So.
Well, that's great. Well, let me ask you this: you have a lot of classes here.
A lot of classes. Yeah.
One of them is a yoga class, but the yoga classes are all for they're kind of segmented into older people, younger people, and even babies. Is that right? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. So we offer so many classes here, but especially yoga. So we have regularly running classes that are weekly, and they're operating consistently throughout the month. And it could be a yin yoga where it's really stretchy and relaxing. It could be a strong yoga where it's a little more intense and it's about building strength. So we offer several of those classes. We also offer classes that are segmented into like 6 or 8 week classes. So we have yoga for beginners. We have yoga with babies, which a lot of our instructors share that we're one of the only studios in the state that offer that. We do yoga for seniors. We also have Tai Chi. We have Pilates. We have booty yoga coming, which sounds funny, but it's actually a specific class designed to reconnect to our primal selves.
Okay.
We have hip hop yoga coming. So
I saw that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Unconventional yoga classes and regular traditional yoga classes, so we have the whole gambit going on.
I counted at least 8 different ones, and I'm sure there's probably even more.
There's more.
So there's really a yoga class for anybody.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? If you do the baby yoga, do you have to bring your own baby, or do you provide those?
You bring your own baby.
Kelly, you offer a wide menu of services. What are some of those services, and do you, that for professionals that want to be instructors or the like, and is there an opportunity for them to sublet the space here?
Absolutely. So all of our spaces, as well as our yoga classes, are sublettable. So we bring in yoga instructors and they sublet the space. So when they're doing their yoga class, that's their time. And we also have a showcase healing room. So we have part-time acupuncture, licensed massage therapy, Reiki. We have an in-house herbalist, and they all sublet the space. And pretty soon we will be offering a full-time sublettable space and healing rooms rather. So the practitioners can do full-time healing. So we'll have a full-time licensed massage therapist, full-time acupuncturist. So not only will we be offering the part-time, we'll also be offering the full-time soon. And that's really what the whole space will be about, is eventually the entire space will be for sublets so that people can come in and rent out the space full-time. The tea shop can also be sublettable, so we have things like art journeying, we have solstice events, we have singing bowl events. So not only is it indoors, it's also outdoors. So if you ever have somebody who would like to come in and do, say, a drum circle, we'll offer that space outdoors as well. And inside, we have the art journey, we have Earth Day events. So not only is it just yoga and a tea shop, there's so much more that we offer, and we're always welcoming new people, new practitioners. So anybody who would be interested in renting out some of our spaces, we're more than welcome to sit down with them and chat about that.
That's great. That's great. That is quite a benefit to the community.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed this. Learned a lot about your business. Learned a lot about you guys. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We appreciate yours.
Namaste.